Today we're going to work on the Matrices Quiz review. Before we begin, let's take a look at how this quiz looks overall. It looks like we've got 3 problems where we'll be adding and subtracting matrices. We've got 2 problems where we'll be multiplying matrices, 4 problems where we'll be finding the determinants of a matrix, and then 1 problem where we're solving using Cramer's rule. Okay, let's begin. Number 1, it says to add matrix A plus matrix B. The first thing I do is write down these matrices and then what their dimensions are. In order to add or subtract matrices, they have to have the exact same dimensions. So let's begin there. Let's write down matrix A and matrix B. A is 2, 3, 7, 1. And to that, I'm adding matrix B, which is -1, 2, 4, -7. And this is a 2 by 2. I'm adding another 2 by 2. Since they are the exact same dimensions, I can add these together. Okay, so let's make a work matrix here. This is also going to be another 2 by 2. And then what I'll do is just add the corresponding entries. So I've got 2 in the top left, plus -1 in the top left, 2 plus -1. For the top right, this will be 3 plus 2. For the bottom left, 7 plus 4. And then for the bottom right, 1 plus -7. Okay, then it says new matrix over here. This is where I'm going to put my answer. Top left, 2 plus -1, that's going to make +1. Top right, 3 plus 2, that's 5. Bottom left, 7 plus 4 is going to make 11. And then bottom right, 1 plus -7, so that'll be -6. Okay, so my new matrix is 1, 5, 11, -6. Okay, number 2, B plus C. Again, I'm going to write out these matrices and look at their dimensions. So B is this one, C is this one. Let's write those down. B is -1, 2, 4, -7. And to this, we're adding C is 3, 8, -1. And the bottom row, 2, -4, 5. Okay, I'm noticing something. This is a 2 by 2, but matrix C is a 2 by 3. There are 2 rows and 3 columns. Since these are different dimensions, I cannot add these together. So new matrix, I'm just going to write, it's not possible. So not possible. If you want to write no solution, that's fine too. All right, what about number 3? This is C minus D. So let's write those down. C is right here, D is right here. So 3, 8, -1 is the first row for C. And bottom row, 2, -4, 5. All right, we're subtracting. D is 3, 5, 4. And then 7, 2, 4. All right, this is a 2 by 3. And this is a 2 by 3. So that means I can subtract these. I'm going to make my work matrix the exact same dimensions, so that's going to be a 2 by 3. Okay, add the corresponding, or I subtract the corresponding entries, so that's going to be 3 minus 3 for the top left. 8 minus 5 for top middle. -1 minus 4 for top right. For the bottom, I've got 2 minus 7. -4 minus 2. And then 5 minus 4. All right, my new matrix is going to be this 2 by 3. And let's find out what all these are. 3 minus 3 is going to be 0. 8 minus 5 is 3. -1 minus 4, so that's -5. And then the bottom row, 2 minus 7, that'll be -5. -4 minus 2 will make -6 in the bottom middle. And then 5 minus 4 will be 1 for the bottom right. Okay, so that's how to add and subtract matrices. Let's move on to the next section. For this next section, it says multiply if possible. So number 4 is asking us to do A times B. Number 5 is asking us to do D times C. Okay, let's write that out. Number 4, A times B. So let's write those down. 2, 3, 7, 1. And we're going to multiply to B is -1, 2, 4, -7. Okay, -1, 2, 4, -7. First, we have to determine if we can even multiply these together. So we write down the dimensions. This is a 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 2. And then I make a box around the middle 2. If those are the same, which they are, then I can multiply these together. Excellent. How big is my answer matrix going to be? Well, that depends on what the outer 2 are. Here I've got a 2. I'm going to get a 2 out here as well. So my answer matrix is going to be a 2 by 2 as well. So let's make a work matrix here, and my final answer is going to be over here. Okay, to do this, we are going to label, this is going to be my top left entry. This is my top right entry. This is my bottom left entry, and this is my bottom right entry. Okay, top left. This tells me to start on the left side and move along the top row to the right. And then left here means start at the top of my left column for my second matrix and move downward. Let's use a highlighter for this. This tells me top left, top here, left here. We're going to multiply 2 times -1. And then we're going to add, move along the top row, 3, move down the bottom, or move down the left column, times 4. So 3 times 4. Okay, top right. So I'm going to keep this top, but I'm going to move this highlighting to the right side now. So that'll be 2 times 2 plus 3 times -7. Bottom left. So now I'm going to highlight the bottom row in the first matrix and then the left column in the second matrix. 7 times -1 plus 1 times 4. And bottom right. So let's highlight this right column now. 7 times 2 plus 1 times -7. All right, there's all my work. Let's find the answer. This will be a 2 by 2. And I can go over to my calculator and just put in 2 times -1 and then plus 3 times 4. The top left will be 10. Top right. 2 times 2 plus 3 times -7. Top right will be -17. Bottom left, this will be 7 times -1 plus 1 times 4. So that's -3. And the bottom right, 7 times 2 plus 1 times -7. So that's 7. My answer is the 2 by 2 matrix. First row is 10, -17. Second row is -3, 7. Number 5, D times C. So again, I'm going to write out what these matrices are first, then look at their dimensions. So D first, 5, 8, 1, 9. All right, I'm going to try to multiply to C. So C is this matrix. So 3, 8, -1. And bottom row here is 2, -4, 5. Then let's write out their dimensions. This is a 2 by 2. And this is a 2 by 3. Put a box around the middle 2. And they're the same. So we can multiply these together. If they are not the same, then you're going to stop right here. Say this was, instead of a 2 by 3, let's say this was a 3 by 2. If they weren't the same inside, then you just stop and then write no solution or not possible. But in this case, it is possible. How big is my answer going to be? It's going to be a 2 by 3. So I'll make a work matrix here, and then my final answer will go over here. Okay, top left, top middle, top right. Let's label all of these entries. Top left, top middle, top right. Then we've got bottom left, bottom middle, bottom right. This will help me identify what it is I'm multiplying and adding together. So let's do top left first. That will be top row, left column, 5 times 3 plus 8 times 2. Okay, top middle. So top row, middle column, 5 times 8 plus 8 times -4. All right, then top right, 5 times -1 plus 8 times 5. Okay, bottom row now, bottom left. So we'll do bottom row here, left column, 1 times 3 plus 9 times 2. Bottom middle, so bottom row, middle column, this is 1 times 8 and plus 9 times -4. And last one, bottom right. So bottom row, right column, this will be 1 times -1 plus 9 times 5. All right, there's all the work. Let's make our new matrix. Let's clear all of the work we had in our calculator and start with the top left. 5 times 3, and I'm adding 8 times 2. So that entry will be 31. Top middle, 5 times 8 plus 8 times -4. So that's just going to be 8. And top right, we've got 5 times -1 plus 8 times 5. So that is 35. All right, now the bottom row, 1 times 3 plus 9 times 2. All right, 1 times 3 plus 9 times 2. This will be 21. Bottom middle, 1 times 8 plus 9 times -4. So that'll be -28. And the bottom right entry, 1 times -1 plus 9 times 5. And that is 44. All right, this new matrix has the dimensions 2 by 3. Those entries are 31, 8, 35, 21, -28, and 44. Let's move on to the second page, where we're going to do some determinants. Now, 6, 7, and 8, not too bad. These 2 by 2 determinants, essentially, I'm just going to multiply from the top left to the bottom right, multiply top right to the bottom left, and subtract those products. I like to use a highlighter here to show you exactly where I'm multiplying. So let's do 4 times 5 here. And then I'm going to multiply those together and multiply 1 times 9. and subtract those. So this will be 4 times 5 minus 1 times 9. All right, 4 times 5 minus 1 times 9. This is 11. So the determinant of this matrix is 11. All right, next, 11 times 3. Again, I'm going to use some highlighter to show you. And then negative 2 times 8, going the other direction. So we've got 11 times 3 minus negative 2 times 8. So the determinant of this matrix is 49. Okay, next one. Another 2 by 2, so 3 times negative 5. And then going the other direction, we've got 8 times negative 4. So 3 times negative 5 minus 8 times negative 4. Putting that in the calculator there, this will give us 17. So the determinant of this matrix is 17. Three by 3, this one's a little bit tougher. To do a 3 by 3, we're going to do pretty much the same process where we're multiplying a lot of these diagonals, except because this is a bigger matrix, we're going to have more diagonals in both directions. Any diagonal that goes from top left to bottom right, such as the blue ones here, those ones are going to be multiplied, and then we're going to add those together. Okay, add those products together. Then anything that's orange from the top right to the bottom left will be subtracting. To make this easier, we're actually going to take this matrix and I'm going to copy the first 2 columns and paste it over to the right here. So basically just rewriting 9, 6, 3, this first column to the right. And then taking this middle column, 8, 5, 2, and writing that to the right of 9, 6, and 3 again. Okay, so let's show you where all of these diagonals are going to take place. So 9, 5, and 1 is going to be our first diagonal. Our next one is going to be 8, 4, 3. And then lastly, 7, 6, 2. So what does this mean? We're multiplying 9 times 5 times 1. And then we're going to add to that 8 times 4 times 3. And we're going to add to that 7 times 6 times 2. Okay, now let's go the other direction. That's going to start 7, 5, and 3. And then 9, 4, 2. And 8, 6, 1. I'm also going to multiply all these, except this time we're going to subtract these products. So 7 times 5 times 3. But make sure to put a minus sign before that. Next one, minus 9 times 4 times 2. And minus 8 times 6 times 1. All right, let's clear our calculator here and put it all in. 9 times 5 times 1. Okay, so we've got 9 times 5 times 1 in there. And then we're going to put a plus sign, plus, the next one is 8 times 4 times 3. Okay, plus 7 times 6 times 2. Now, minus 7 times 5 times 3. Minus 9 times 4 times 2. And finally, minus 8 times 6 times 1. All right, our determinant is 0. Last problem. Solve this system using Cramer's rule. Okay, Cramer's rule is another way of solving systems of equations, this time using matrices and determinants rather than kind of our traditional methods of substitution or elimination. The first thing I want to do is identify and label my A1, A2, B1, B2, and C1, C2. So let's do that. My A's are going to be the coefficients on X's. So A1 will be 3, A2 will be negative 3. B1 and B2, these are the coefficients on my Y's. So B1 is negative 2, B2 is 5. And then C1, C2, this is what those equations are equal to. So C1 is going to be 1, C2 is going to be 11. Okay, next. To do this, I have to find the determinant of matrix D. So D is a 2 by 2 matrix because I'm working with 2 equations, 2 variables. And it's going to have column A and column B in it. So let me write that down. D is equal to the determinant of A1, A2, B1, B2. Well, for us, let's fill in those numbers. That's going to be 3, negative 3 for the first column. And then 2, 5, or negative 2, positive 5 for the second column. Finding the determinant of a 2 by 2, we just did a bunch of those. That's going to be multiplying this way, 3 times 5, and then subtracting, going the other way, negative 2 times negative 3. Okay, let's write that down. 3 times 5 minus negative 2 times negative 3. Well, 3 times 5, I know is going to be 15, minus negative 2 times negative 3, that's going to be positive 6. But just to show you in the calculator, I've got 3 times 5 minus negative 2 times negative 3. That's going to make 9. So D is 9. Now that's not actually what I'm solving for. I'm trying to solve for x and y here. But I need D first in order to use Cramer's rule to solve for x or to solve for y. So the next step is to set up the formula for x. The formula for x is going to be x equals the determinant of a matrix here over D. Now, this matrix up here is going to be very, very similar to D. D was A1, A2, so my A column, and then B1, B2, so my B column. But here, when I find x or y, I'm going to use this matrix and replace the coefficients of the variable I'm trying to find with C's. In other words, A's represent my coefficient on x, 3, negative 3. So I'm going to replace that with C1 and C2. So this will end up being C1, C2, B1, B2. Let's actually put in the numbers here and find out what that looks like. So C1, C2, that'll be 1 and 11. B1, B2, this is still negative 2 and 5. And I'm dividing by D, which we found to be 9. So x is going to be equal to the determinant of this matrix divided by 9. Let's find this determinant. So that's 1 times 5 here. And we'll be subtracting negative 2 times 11. So 1 times 5 minus negative 2 times 11. And this divided by D is 9. Okay, 1 times 5, and then minus negative 2 times 11. This is 27, so x is 27 over 9. But of course, we can divide 27 by 9, so 27 divided by 9, x is 3. All right, now to find y. Y is going to be equal to, and it's going to follow that same pattern where I've got a matrix divided by D. So the determinant of this matrix here divided by D. This matrix is also going to be very similar to what D is, but this time, instead of A1, A2, B1, B2, just like when we solved for x, we replaced the column for the coefficients of x. We're going to replace the column for the coefficients for y. So this will have A1, A2, but I'll replace B1, B2 with C1, C2. All right, filling things in, this will be 3, negative 3. And then C1, C2 is 1, 11. And this being divided by D we found earlier is 9. All right, y is equal to 3 times 11. And and then we're going to subtract 1 times negative 3. So let's write y equals 3 times 11 minus 1 times negative 3 divided by 9. In the calculator, 3 times 11 minus 1 times negative 3. This is 36, so y equals 36 over 9. Y equals 36 divided by 9 is 4. Okay, so my answers are x equals 3 and y equals 4. And that's all the problems on the review. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of what to expect for the actual upcoming quiz.